You know how you can tell if a movie is something special? See if British people clap after it's over. Because that never happens in this country. We don't applaud after our movies, unless it's like a film premiere or a film festival screening. But last night, I went to a public screening of John M. Chu's In the Heights, just filled with normal, everyday folk. And guess what? They clapped. It's time for me to talk about In the Heights. Hey up guys! So today's movie I'm discussing is In the Heights, which is directed by Crazy Rich Asians director John M. Chu and is an adaptation of the Broadway musical written by Chiara Alegria Hughes. Sorry if I mispronounced that name. And the music, lyrics, and concept was created by Lin-Manuel Miranda, the chap who did that little Broadway show called Hamilton. Apologies in advance to the Latinx community if I should mispronounce any of the names in this movie review. Spanish is not a language I'm particularly great at, so if I do mispronounce any of the names or places or songs, forgive me. Our story takes place in the Manhattan borough of Washington Heights, a predominantly Latinx neighborhood. Our protagonist is pagoda store owner Usnavi, played by Anthony Ramos, who dreams of fulfilling his deceased father's sueñito, or little dream, of opening up a beachside bar in his place of birth, the Dominican Republic. And we watch Usnavi deal with the push and pull of either chasing that dream or staying in the community that embraced him with open arms. I came out of this film beaming. In the Heights is utterly infectious. It's the type of film that gets your hips swaying, your toes tapping, and your teeth grinning. It's a film that is so easy on the eyes, and not just because of its gorgeous cast, but because of its dazzling inventive set pieces, the jaw-dropping choreography, a vibrant production design, and John M. Chu's signature dynamic camera work brings it all to life. Some people have been comparing this film to West Side Story, which incidentally is getting a Steven Spielberg reimagining later this year. But for me, In the Heights feels so refreshingly different to all other musicals. Every song is laced with a deliciously Latin flavor. There are emotional ballads which will make your heart swoon, but there's also elements of salsa, hip-hop, and of course Lin-Manuel Miranda's very recognizable spoken word, recitative, rap sensibilities. Oh yeah, Hamilton fans need to keep their ears open for a little sonic Easter egg. I personally loved In the Heights, and I'm just some pasty white boy from London, but this movie is going to mean so much to so many Hispanic communities around the world because it's their stories that are being told here. This movie is a celebration of all things Latinx. The cast are all superb. Anthony Ramos lights up the screen with his cheeky chap smile as protagonist Usnavi. He's backed up by the fiery Melissa Barrera, who plays the fashion designer and love interest Vanessa. Corey Hawkins plays Usnavi's pal Benny. He was also fantastic, an amazing singer. He yearns after old flame Nina, who's played by Leslie Grace. Also phenomenal. Her character got into Stanford, but she's having her own identity crisis now as a minority at this prestigious Ivy League school where the majority of the people there are white. Benny and Nina also get one of the standout musical set pieces from this film where they share this lovely duet on the side of a New York building. It's like Inception meets West Side Story. But the MVP of this film is without a doubt Olga Merediz, who plays Abuela Claudia. She's the matriarch of the Washington Heights community, and she is the heart of this film. She reduced me to tears with her performance of Pacienza y Fe. If we're gonna talk hypothetical Oscar nominations for In the Heights, then I would put my money on Olga Merediz for a Best Supporting Actress nomination. It's the type of emotionally charged and meaty supporting role that you don't forget. She was magnificent. I would love to see her get an Oscar nomination for this performance. But that's a good question for you guys. Do you think In the Heights is going to get some Oscar nominations? If so, what categories do you think it'll be nominated for? Let me know in that comment section down below. Also, if you're enjoying the video, help me out by hitting that like button. As for negatives, most of my issues with this film are just little nitpicks, like the amazing swimming pool set piece to the song 96,000. I absolutely adored that number. But there were a couple shots of Anthony Ramos where he was clearly singing and dancing in front of a green screen and it looked completely sore thummy, like it just stuck out compared to the rest of the scene, which was clearly shot on location. So yeah, I did notice that, but it's something I can forgive. There was a lot of product placement in this film. In the Heights is brought to you by Coca-Cola, Beats, and Moet Champagne. It is also a smidge too long, but where the film truly does struggle is with character conflict and character resolution. Most of the character conflict in this film is internal, characters wrestling with the decision to stay or go. But the rest of the time, it's mostly just sunshine, dancing, and joy. Even in the blackout that occurs, that's a cause for celebration and not panic. And without conflict, there isn't really much drama. The story does touch upon topics like gentrification, but not very deeply. And the only mention of racial tension is Nina's experiences at university. But that's all it is. Mentioned. We don't actually see it happen. So while there is unquestionably gallons of passion in this film, there isn't very much drama. And while the film certainly ends on an uplifting note, I couldn't help but feel that many of the character arcs didn't close properly. Their endings were a little bit ambiguous, and I still had questions. Like, what does Jimmy Smith's character do after he sells his business? Did Vanessa's fashion dreams take off? How does Nina cope back at Stanford? And what's Benny doing with himself now? There's just a lot which feels unresolved, which bothers me a little bit. So it's time to ask them 3 questions. Firstly, would I watch this again? Definitely. In the Heights is a perfect, feel-good, summery movie. It is just irresistible. I'm probably gonna watch this like every summer. Question number 2, do I recommend it for you guys? Absolutely. This is the perfect type of film to justify going back to the cinema for. It is a film best seen on the biggest screen possible with the biggest speakers possible, so you can feel immersed in the magic of this movie. It's a sun-drenched, kinetically shot, flavorful movie with a phenomenal cast. If you guys like musicals like Dirty Dancing, West Side Story, and of course John M. Chu's bread and butter franchise, Step Up, then you are going to love this. Please go watch it in a cinema, guys. And question number 3, what score do I give it out of 10? In the Heights is a charming and joy-inducing story about community and dreams. What it lacks in dramatic conflict, it more than makes up for with phenomenal performances, dazzling musical set pieces, and fabulous choreography. It's a movie that makes you want to crack open a fire hydrant and go dance in the spray. So I'm gonna give In the Heights a score of 8 out of 10. But as always, guys, it's just one bloke's opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts on In the Heights. What do you have to say about this film? Let me know in that comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe. And if you want to follow me on any of my socials, all those links in that video description down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Carefield, and I'll see you next time.